Hello everyone, as usual this is Professor Bushra Ansari, and in today's section of your video we are going to cover the last part of your unit 2, that is of global HRM functions as international industrial relations. Now if you would have noticed in all my videos, I have tried covering each and every function of your HRM, that is recruitment, compensation, training and development, performance appraisal, in one individual aspect. And when you are talking from international perspective, the whole thing is that whatever you have learned about these functions in the ground level, that is in your semester 3, 4 or 5, we are adding an international touch to it and understanding that when we cross the boundaries, what implications they have on the individual, that is the person who has relocated, as well as the company. Now, when you talk about industrial relation, this is any which ways a very crucial thing among employee and the employer when they are in the same homeland as well. Because here we are trying to talk about that complex relationship between employee and employer, where the employee keeps on talking about his rights and the employer, giving his own side of version, tries to show that they are doing justice, but then there is still some kind of a scope left out to do justice with my employee. Likewise, when I talk about these labor policies, now what happens is, in Middle East, for example, in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia, and these places, what you have heard, there is a rule like every 6 months they are going to give you 15 days of paid holiday, and if you're not taking it on 6 months, every 11 months you get 1 month of holiday. So you see your people coming back, like the people who are settled in Middle East, coming back after 1 year for 1 month. The only thing is they need to spend on the tickets, air tickets. Now we don't find this rule over here. We do have some kind of expatriates. We do have people relocating from one state or one city to another city. But then we don't have such rules, except for your schools and colleges. I don't think so we do have any kind of a summer vacation or winter vacation like that. That's the point. You have, every country you will find different kind of employee policies. These different kind of employee policies, when you talk about in terms of employee and employer relationship, we talk about the factors like what actually makes it, or what factors or what elements actually define or make it implemented in each country, that is area wise, geographically, or whatever. So the simplest way to remember these factors is your PEST analysis. Now if you'll see the slide, we do have economical, we have social, we have technological, we have political, and then we have institutional, these kind of things which are adding as a factor. Now we have studied about PEST analysis in first year in business environment, in second year in strategic management, in business planning, and now if I ask you about PEST analysis, it's only about political factors, that is the taxation and deduction, all kind of things that are applicable to my employee. Same way say institutional, that is something to do with my own organization specifically. And then you talk about the social factor. So in Japan, as I told you, bowing down like this, it's a culture, or say giving the respect to their guest is the culture. But here in India or in America, we don't bow down like this to greet. That's the social element. So you don't know when you are going to be a good kind of an say expatriate, or people are not going to like you because you don't fit into their culture. Then you talk about the technological factor. There might be like US, a developed country, many things is automated. Me being an Indian, I might not be that well versed with these systems and softwares. So I would take some time to get adjusted. And then this technological factor also reduces the number of people that I require, a number of workload or the pressure of workload that I have on my employees. Then we talk about your economical. Economics is nothing but demand and supply. Same way, when you talk about a developing country or an underdeveloped country, the demand and supply approach would be different. But when you go and talk about a developed country, the demand and supply would be different. These are the factors which actually influence my international industrial relation. Accordingly, if I'm a developed country, I might have good labor policies, and that's what Canada did. Right, in the time of this pandemic as well, Canada was able to pay a good amount of, say, $100 or some $10 or $15 per week to the employees and ask them to sit back home. All they need to do is just make an application online and let the government know that you are sitting at home. So it was kind of say a help given by the government for the people who are suffering in the lockdown, because the government understands that you are losing your source of earning. But it's possible when you have your budget, when you have your treasure, when you have your economic things maintained properly. So these factors play a role in my now suddenly, if I am I'm an employee in Canada, I would say Canada is a good country to be employed as. There would be certainly some comparisons. That is my various factors that are affecting, and these factors at times, when not handled correctly, do lead to some or the other issues. Just like we saw some issues in the international performance management, same way when you talk about your issues in international industrial relations. Now, human being human. I, as an Indian company, cannot make my rules applicable to an employee who's working in, say, Africa, or working in Middle East, or working in the America, or for that matter, any of the continents in this world. Each company has to have its own approach. But then if I say it's a parent country national approach, I am going to face problem, because my person staying over here and my person going and working in that country, he is going to see the reality in a different manner. Likewise, the time duration and the variation in the time zone, and then the way you deal, the connectivity issues, and so many things, at times they don't relate, or at times they don't give out the best of the things for my employee. And then while staying over there, suddenly my employees feel that this country is offering me a better way or a better option as an employee, and suddenly this thing creates a very negative impact on my employee. And when you talk about an industrial relation, we do have the factors like that of your communication. Now, an employee needs to be heard. In India, we have this open door policy in very rare companies where your manager happens to say actually ask you to walk in, or your senior top management lets you walk into their cabin and complain or give your feedbacks or suggestions. But there in US, it's a very normal thing. It's a very common thing, because they believe in having this kind of acceptance of ideas. So if I work over there and I suddenly realize my company is suppressing me, but then the other company out there in US, the culture is absolutely different, why not shift? This will create a say anonymity and kind of differences between employee and employer back. So the change in the policies, the time zone variation, the approach cannot be the same. My human nature cannot react in the same manner. The taxation, and then this political factor. I have got good ties with one country, so I can do business over there. But then I don't have good ties with my another neighboring country. Even if I want to, I cannot go up and work over there, or I cannot go and set up a business over there. Or even if my employee is working over there, he doesn't get that kind of acceptance and say jolliness from the country which he or she should get. So these are all very ground level reality when you talk about your international industrial relations. And when you are talking about this, we should not forget that we are talking about trade unions as well. How this trade union, or how this whole party, that is the group of people talking on behalf of employee. Now I'm telling you the meaning of trade union. These group of people who are there basically to unite and talk on behalf of my employee. Now it's not like that we only in India we have got labor laws, since we have got lot many people working in the labor section. In US, this labor laws are prevailing too. and prevailing to a very great extent. They have got lot of acts which are in favor of labor rights and which compels the companies to take care of the employee. So this trade union, when they work, or they all over the globe, wherever you go, the trade union has this whole thing of influencing the wage. So every now and then you find them actually fighting for the raise in the salary or raise in the wages, or getting this whole thing or in the name of incentives or PF or bonus or working extras or overtime, whatever it may be. They create this whole pressure on the organization. So it remains the same even if you talk about the industrial relation. And then they talk about say they bring this trade union thing.